just do a live start.
Oh, here. Oh, is it working for you guys? Can you hear me? Kind of looking in the chat. I did turn my AC on. I had to. I was sweating, and then I tried turning it off and on again, and then called the internet guy. He did not come over in time enough, but if it's kind of working for you guys, kind of hear me, just let me know in the chat. Joe, I'm not too angry yet, but it might be later, depending on how bad this internet is, basically. But
so we need to know from the chat, like, what are you guys seeing out there? Like, maybe I'm the one that is frozen. Maybe he's frozen. Joe's laughing his ass off, which is good. That means we're entertaining somebody no matter what. So
yeah, that's something. That's good.
That's right. We're getting it done. Done.
Yeah. Hey, there we go.
So we just need to know what you guys are, because when I see Ethan on my screen, he's frozen. So I just wonder what the world is seeing. Maybe I'm just seeing him frozen. He's a Frozen 4 kind of kid.
Frozen? No,
no. I love you, Joe. No.
No fro, bro. Oh, okay. So I'm not bro.
No, I'm not frozen. Okay. He's not frozen. Nobody's frozen.
We're okay, good. No fro, bro. There we go. Okay, sounds
5
good.
5 5, Joe.
No one is frozen. 5 by 5. Oh, I think we're good. Yeah, I think people kind of can see us.
No one is frozen. Oh my God, I'm looking at a screen and all I see is Ethan and his little model picture. Frozen on the screen. I have no idea what he's doing. He could be like this right now. I would have no. All right, 20. That was a pretty wild start. 2020.
Yeah, wild start.
The old heads are going to say you got to call it the Open Championship. I'm okay with Open or British on account of the fact that, like, there's a U.S. Open, there's a Canadian Open, there's an Irish Open, there's a Scottish Open. By the way, Rory's won all of those. Just the Open did. But 2023 Open Championship Special, the British Open, if you will. Ray Gray Fox with you, and of course the star of the show. And if he was frozen, honestly, I wasn't going live because nobody wants to look at this much. Is Ethan at Best Pie Bets. You know him on Twitter. Well, Ethan, how are you this evening in blistering Arizona?
Pretty good. They just set a record 19 days in a row of over 110 degrees. Record that has not been broken since 1974. So, yeah, it's been pretty sweltering here. Had a haboob come through yesterday in the East Valley, a giant dust storm. So, yeah, things are happening, even though it's monsoon season. We haven't gotten any crazy monsoons, but hey, we're still waiting for them. That's for sure.
Well, we're gonna talk a little Open Championship. We want to thank everybody that's been patient through the loyal viewers.
Yeah, thank you.
We don't know if it's the Miller Lite Soundstage or the mountains of Virginia. It's not that hot here, probably 83, but high humidity. We've had a bunch of storms go through. We've had power outages twice in the last couple of days. So I had to run the house on generator for a little while. So who knows what's going on, folks. I'm glad if anybody's seeing this. If you're not, I don't care. Listen to it, whatever. If you can listen to it, I'm gonna break down the championship, just sort of the championship itself, the venue, a little bit about the just course and history, more so, and event history. Then I'm gonna send it to Ethan. He's gonna go ahead and give you weather. And he's going to give you some course insight in a different manner. So I'll get it started. Royal Liverpool. Had to look that up at some point in my life, but to be a royal golf course, it has to have a member of royalty has to be someone of royalty has to be a member there. Then the course can become royal. So Royal Liverpool, 18 and 69 for you history buffs out there. And there's always people like when the LACC Open didn't really go over, I don't think, like 100% with everybody. And a lot of people are like, I just want it on public courses. Well, just so you know, nobody's walking their dogs this week on Royal Liverpool. It is a very private club. 1869, a Chambers and Morris design. If you recognize the last name Morris, you probably recognize in Open Championship history, those that retired the belt before they had the claret jug, they had a actual Ethan, a championship belt.
Oh, that's
And,
cool.
and they were retired by old Tom Morris. The Morris end of Chambers and Morris is old Tom Morris's younger brother. So this is obviously a very historic golf course. The purse this year, a record 3.6 milli. Probably, I guess, 3.6 to the winner. It looks like usually they do 10 off 10 to the winner. That'd be 360,000 for your winning caddy. You know, I'm always going to touch on that.
Oh yeah.
Harry Colt came in. In America, a lot of people know Harry Colt, but you see a lot of Colt and Allison. They did a lot of golf course design work in America here. Harry Colt did the last official redo. They've had work done there, but they're just sort of, you probably would have to look in a little deeper to find out if that's just the club just handled the maintenance and handled the work in-house or whether it's somebody else. But Harry Colt is what I see as the last redesigner. This will be the 13th Open Championship hosted at Royal Liverpool. The first one was in 1897. Harold Hilton took home the championship. Was the low golfer for the year. The latest, of course, 2014, Rory McIlroy won it in 2014. I'll touch on a couple of I'm not going to go through all 13 of them. Obviously, I already gave you Harold Hilton, the first winner there. I mean, who doesn't need to know that? 2014 was Rory. 2006, Tiger, a little bit infamous there. He played the 4 rounds of the golf tournament, hitting his driver one time, and won there in 2006. 1967 winner, pretty cool one, Roberto Di Vincenzo, eh? And Roberto is infamous, of course, for signing for an incorrect score after the 72nd hole of the Masters, which he had won, and he was then disqualified. So he does not have a Masters win, but he does have a 1967 Open Championship win at esteemed Royal Liverpool. Peter Thompson, 1956. Probably most casual fans like, who the hell is Peter Thompson? He had a pretty good Open Championship record. He won it 5 times in an 11-year span, and he's the only one to have won 3 consecutive, 54, 55, and historically capturing it in 56 here at Liverpool. Of course, playing 7,383 yards, much longer than it played when wee lad Bobby Jones captured the second leg of his Grand Slam in 1930. So Liverpool, again, playing history to Thompson and to Jones and, of course, Tiger. Any win of his in his history. 1924, the other champion of note, the American gunslinger Walter Hagen captured it in 1924. So I did mention it's a par 71 this year, Ethan, and at 7,383 yards tipped out, as the cool golfers say. What say you about the par 71, and what are you seeing golf course wise this week?
Well, you and I were talking earlier, and it's been pretty wet around there recently. A lot of rain, a lot of humidity. Thursday, chance of rain. Friday has a similar chance to rain. Like Saturday is supposed to have the worst condition or the most chance of rain, about 70%, with about up to 20 mile per hour gusts. So, and Sunday it's going to be a little lighter rain, but a little less breezy. So, I mean, it's just normal what you're expecting. It's just it's been wet there, so it's not going to play. It's going to play longer than what people say. Okay, 7,300 yards. They're like, okay, that's not terribly long, but it's going to play longer. It's not going to be as firm as we're used to with the links style course. They did some change. What interesting thing that you were talking to me about why it's called links. It's links the sea to the mainland, so it's very cool how it has this storied history too, where going back with Royal Liverpool, everything like that. Now 17 is going to be a short par 3, about 140, 150 yards. man, it looks diabolical. If you land it short, it'll roll about 40, 50 yards backwards into a bunker. If you land it left, you're in another bunker. If you land it right, you're in another bunker. And then if you land it long, you're in just giant ditch, basically not really a bunker, but basically a waste area of dirt that you have to get up about like 15, 20 feet really quickly to get up onto that green. So, man, so it's going to be, and it's kind of like an upside down bowl shape, really weird. It's going to be tough. They're going to they were mentioning like people even with like a 2-3 stroke lead are going to be a little bit nervous coming into the 17th hole in their, the 71st hole of their tournament, and then going on to 18. They stretched it out a little bit since 2014. That infamous internal OB is there along the right side. And it looks like it's just basically like a crooked boomerang of a golf hole that you have to pick your line perfectly and hope you hit it there. If you miss right, you're OB, miss left, OB. So it's like it's going to be pretty tough. I think there's going to be a lot more people pulling drivers, even though you still have to be accurate because it's going to be playing a little bit longer than what normal. But we don't know yet. It might, weather kind of changes all over the place over there. So it might dry out. It might not. Who knows? So it might change, might play a little bit differently on Sunday too, rather than Thursday if they don't get as much rain as they expected. So it's going to be interesting. See how people adapt. And can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see it on TV. Can't wait to see the highlights of it and all the crazy shots out of the bunkers and stuff like that, and trying to chip out backwards just so they have a chance to maybe get up and down for par or something. So it's going to test a lot of people's, mental capabilities too. That's for sure.
I did see Joe comment that I'm lagging. And like I said, I don't know if these power outages are affecting the towers or anything like that. I apologize to everybody. It's just like I said, we had 2 power outages here, and normally it's a decent night, so I don't know why the signal wouldn't be good. For those of you that don't know, I live in the middle of the mountains, so it's not like we're hooked up to fiber optic. Me and Ethan were just talking about that. Just run it down my road, please, and run it into my house. 2023. I don't know if they know that down here in the hills of Virginia, but. Just looking now, Ethan, we can kind of breeze through here. It's a very light top here. Just looking at the current odds on Bookmaker, that's bookmaker.eu. You can log on to our website right now, sign up, open an account. You get a double your deposit bonus. Let us know how that went for you. But Bookmaker is where I'm quoting the odds from. Rory right now plus 715. Scotty Scheffler plus 805. So 2 below 10-1. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead on futures. I mean, I have a couple futures that I played. One of them I played probably right around the end of the U.S. Open. I think I played one. But, I'm good with – you want to do futures? It's fun, right? Who doesn't want to make 20, 60, 120-1 on their money? I totally get it. And even at the short odds of 715 or 805, like I tell people, like, they're like, what do you do? Well, one of those two guys is going to win it. Well, I don't know one of those two guys is going to win it, number one. But if I'm just if I'm going to go ahead, obviously you're not going to play them both because then you're cutting your low price down to about 7-2. So on Rory, if Rory wins, if you're like, I know Rory's going to win, but I think Scotty's going to win, you play them both. You're basically taking 7-2 back on Rory, which again, like nobody's going to be pissed at plus 350, right? Like nobody. No, yeah, that's a good score. I mean, that's a solid score. So if that's your thought that those two guys are absolutely one of those two is going to win it, then you play them both outright. That's all you do, and make whatever other bets you want. But as far as outrights, you can only make those two at that point, and. You hope Scotty wins at this point. Whoever closes with the higher odds. For me, I had an advanced future on Rory that I bought a month ago that is much better than 715. But I don't mind people jumping in and being like, you know what, I think Scotty Scheffler's going to win this golf tournament. Bang it at plus 805 is a banger. Okay, I know, I get it. There's household. It's a bad market. You're betting into a bad number. Bookmakers holds better than most, I will say. if you have Circa in your area, you're going to get probably as good a hold as Bookmaker. I think it's probably similar. You go to John Rahm at 14, Victor at 25, Brooksy at 20. Brooks been bet down a little bit. Ricky Fowler's been bet down a little bit. Hatton, obviously, top 10, I think, last week. And Xander has been bet down from where I saw him earlier in the week. So that's just sort of the top of the board. Do you have any thoughts there, Ethan? I mean, we've talked about it before with futures. Futures can be like a wormhole, right? Like you're like, oh, this guy, Scotty's definitely going to win. All right, I'm taking Scotty over Rory. Scotty's going to beat Rory. But damn, Brooks is good, man. Brooks already got a major this year. I got to play him, Dang, X has got, how do you handle futures, Ethan?
Honestly, kind of the same way where it's like if you have those, if you like two of the top, 5 lowest odds guys, most likely to win, whatever you want to, highest, whatever you want to say, call it that. But if you're gonna do 2, you gotta just stick with those 2 only. You can go down. You can have, if you want to do like 5 of people from 30 to 40 to 1. Okay, that's more understandable. You have. If you like to do that more, I don't blame you. But it's a lot of times with these majors, you're gonna know like the top. Most of the time, the cream rises to the top with these majors, like we know, and basically, so you can't really spread yourself too thin. You can't just have 2 of the top most likely to win guys on your card, and then also a bunch of like 40 to 50 to 1s. Because maybe you hit it, maybe you don't, but if you just lose them all, you'll be losing a decent amount. It's almost better to sometimes play placement bets. It's always tough to win a major. It's tough for the golfer to win a major. Think of how tough it is for a guy to pick who's going to win the golf tournament in a major. So it's like, right. It's kind of, you got to play your cards where you want to. Got to kind of think about it first, and it's especially it's more math driven if you want to say that. I think in golf outright bets, because you have to actually. You're going to know, okay, how much I'm going to win here. Okay, I'll put this same amount here, or I'll bet the same amount on everyone. And then, but if I do that, I might hit one and basically only break even. And you're like, wait a second, well, I hit an outright, but you put $5 on 50 guys. Like, of course you might win, but come on. But yeah, so it's kind of more math driven. You got to have to know what how much you're risking, how much you're going to win, how much total and stuff. So you got to play with the numbers a little bit. But you're right, Tim. That's what a lot of people say. A lot of big narrative now is Scheffler not too much experience with links style courses. It's it's a good point. That's maybe a good little nugget to actually, okay, maybe I'll slide to Rory or slide to Brooks or slide to someone else different if you want to pivot. But hey, it's hard to bet against Scotty Scheffler nowadays. That's for sure. No matter where he's playing, he can play freaking in the middle of the ocean or something. He can play. So that's for sure. So it's going to be interesting to see how everyone kind of handles it, especially the top of the odds boards.
To me, obviously he's been bet down from Open, but Brooks Koepka, so do you get the first 3 rounds Augusta and the PGA Brooks, or do you get the LACC, after round 1? I don't really like this course. I'm kind of out.
Yeah.
And here's a great point of tie-in we talk a lot about. So, I bet these 2 futures, the best I can get is plus 350. Well, I've got a top 40 that I placed this week, and we've already given it out to our clients at plus 350 for a top 40. So if all you're looking back is to get to plus 350, you can make one bet, and if the guy makes the cut, he's pretty much can do it on either Saturday or Sunday or both, and you can get that same value. So to me, it's like I said, it's tough. If you want to take one of the top guys and it's just your guy and you want to back him, bam, and hammer it, go for it. But there's other ways to grab value. and prices. And we obviously, we had talked about that earlier. Just one of the things that's where I see a lot of the value is in the top 20, top 40 market, especially, I don't want to keep saying the place's name because I think they're going to eventually stop doing this. But me and Ethan have discussed. You don't always pay a vig to play their their place bets, but you probably do on half your bets. Would be my call. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. Like you can compare the numbers. Most of the time, it's a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit worse, but you're obviously knowing you're going to get your tie paid in full. So the person could be technically 45th or 46th, but he's tied for 40th. Whatever. I mean, you still get that full bet in, and I think that's more valuable than maybe getting an extra, like 10 to 20 cents or whatever, So it's like, I mean, I'd rather do that.
More valuable.
Oh, yeah.
And I think anybody that's ever been on the side of, oh, I won, he came in T19, and you go to your balance and you're like, why did I not win money? Like, what just happened there, right?
I lost money?
I think it's worth way more when I look at it generally, and we always go over it every week, but I'm like, I could have bought 20 cents more on a place that splits, or I could have got, but in the end, if I make 4 bets, 2 of them, I get a better number sometimes. I mean, there's times I get better numbers with MGM. So
Very true.
I don't really consider it. I think a lot of wise guys could be here or there on that. I could probably be more decisive, but I'm generally getting two every 4 bets. I'm getting 2 better lines, 2 worse lines. The worst lines are only about 10, 20 cents. That's a ton of money normally, but in comparison with a split finish, and as you know, Ethan, we took an L on a golfer, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was on a plus 450 top 20, and he came in T21. Yeah. So it's still better than a tough market, but I mean, a plus 450 and the guy comes in T21. I didn't complain about that bet, and if anybody did, I didn't hear it.
No, you can't, especially at that plus 450 number. It was right there, basically.
And looking at my card again, our cards are available. Contact us if you want our Open Championship cards. I think I've got a total of 12 total plays that I have in right now. And I'm glad I remembered that name that we talked about 3 weeks ago too. I got a strange feeling. I'm not going to say that's reserved for clients, because that was how long ago did I send you that name and said we are going to be on him in the British
during the Open, U.S. Open, during the U.S. Open, or right after, because it either was right before or right after, because you were talking about, oh, how is he not in it or whatever, stuff like that, and you were mentioning that to me, and I think it was right at the U.S. Open weekend, basically.
And I think we found him in a DP event not long after, and I had a small play on him there, place finished. But we have a lot, I've got a bunch. I know Ethan has a number of plays. He doesn't play quite as much volume as I do, but just looking at it, 3, 6, 9, 9 of my 13 are placement bets. So that's kind of where I landed. Just a little for those of you that are looking at if y'all want to get the British Open history without digging and doing the work, we are here for that. It's free content. What the hell? The 4 people tuned in deserve it. They're loyal listeners. Every damn one of them. Joe, Susan, Tim, all of them are. So in looking at going through the last 5 British Opens, Open Championships, keep in mind 2020 it was a no contest that year. They did not contest the Open in 20. So the excuse me, last 5 Opens dates back to 17 actually, which is interesting because that'll get to where we're at on our history, and then we'll get Ethan to chime in on that. But as far as top 20 finishers, I know a lot of people are going to throw up a little in their mouth right now. Jordan Spieth, folks. Jordan Spieth. Say what you will. Yes, Jordan Spieth is coming off back-to-back missed cuts, one of them in a major, the other one in a national open at the Scottish Open. I get it. I own it. If you look at them both, I think he missed them by 1 and 2 shots. I could be off a little bit. Either way, it was like 72-69 in one and 72-70 in the other, or something like that. It was the U.S. Open and the Scottish Open. But he has a run of high finishes this year. And his missed cuts, there's only one that was really bad. I think it was Quayle. He shot 77 on Friday and blew himself out of the number. But, I'll always start with the number one guy. If you want to go over the last 5 years of British Open history, Jordan Spieth, top 10 in 22, second in 21, top 20 in 19. He was top 10 in 18, and he won it in 17. See, you can cheat and not grab year 2017, because that's not really the last 5 years of data. It's the last 5 opens of data. And when you grab that, you have to really look like, so wait a minute, he has a win, a second, 2 top 10s, and a top 20. I'm sorry for the last 2 missed cuts, folks, for those of you that took him. I was not on him in the U.S. or British or Scottish Open. I apologize for his play there, okay? If you lost money on him, I wish I could refund it, because that stinks. But he barely missed the cut. So even if you had him in the top 20 in those, you didn't get robbed. He's really hard to back, folks. And if you watch golf, he's very attuned to everything and plugged in, and he's wired. And that's why he's a great player. But that's also can be sensory overload at times. And listen, I'm not giving the guy any advice. He's a freaking tremendous major champion. But for those of you that are kind of throwing him out because of the U.S. and Scottish Opens, I would caution against that, because that record right there, I mean, maybe he misses the cut. If he does, my Twitter's open, my DMs are open. Light my world out. I'm fine with it. I own it. I'm here on YouTube, I think, if it's even coming through. I have no idea. In lightning country, but I just can't ignore that. A win, a second, 2 top 10s, and a top 20. So
I don't know how you can.
If you did like I did and bet him at plus 140 this year on the top 20, how have you done over the last 5 Open Championships? Well, I can tell you, plus 120, plus 120, plus 120, plus 120, plus 120. That sounds like 500-600 if I'm not mistaken. I mean, you just killing it. So I fell into the trap. I ignored the last 2 missed cuts, Ethan. But I'll throw a couple more just so you'll have fodder to discuss. Rory was there. I can't remember if he had 3 or 4. I could double check real quick, but I think he had either 3 or 4. He might have had 4. He had 3 or 4 of top 20s in his last 5 opens. But as I was telling this or speaking to Ethan, I said his value is going to get killed if he continues doing this in the Scottish, which he did, and it has. Brooks kept 3 of his last 5 Open Championships, top 20, and the X-Man, Xander Schauffele, to Adam Scott, a nice little, for those of you hunting prices, Adam Scott has top 20 in 3 of his last 5 Open Championships. So, and I think he had one fairly high finish in there, but anyways, so that's kind of if you go to Open Championship history, last 5 years, Spieth would be your leader, followed by Rory, Brooks, Adam Scott, and the X-Man. Your thoughts, Ethan?
Hey, I mean, only want to kind of I think Tim wants you to repeat what was that, Tim? The Spieth like track record at the Open, or just like, that's kind of.
We have no idea what we're here, Tim. We're battling. We're battling the technology and everything here.
The elements, but yeah, I'll mention that. Spieth, only one that kind of surprises me. Of course, I mean, you get a bunch of recency bias of where people are like, "Well, he's doing bad back to back." I mean, hey, he's been here for. He's just okay, good. But he's been there. He's won it. He's obviously, you look at the track record and you're like, oh, it's 5 for 5. For top 20s, I mean, that's easy money right there. I mean, Xander, not too surprised with that. He just kind of shows up all the time. He hangs around. He's just a solid golfer, that's for sure.
And for the record, Ethan, I am not saying easy money. I'm just saying for me,
yeah,
at plus 140, massive value in my opinion. He should be more like a plus 100, minus 110, even money minus 110, in my opinion. I could be dead wrong. I missed a cut by 5.
Yeah, no, I mean, you never know. That's for sure. That's why you bet, and we bet the money, put the money up. So, yeah, I mean, looking at the past 5, you think you can keep it going? Of course, he'll step up for a major. Maybe he wasn't, Scottish Open at the Renaissance Club. It's somewhat, yeah, exactly. And they somewhat call it a link style, but it's more on the softer end of actually hardcore link style. Of course, it's more of it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of more forgiving to the guys that can hit it 330, 340 or whatever. So it's not the same. It'll be different. And I mean, he's proven himself the past 5 years. So, hey, I like that. I like that value a lot.
And I mean, like I said, Rory, listen, I mean, yeah, third last year? I mean, he's littered the top of this leaderboard. Let's just bookend it. Last 5 opens, he was third in 22, and he was top 5 in 17. He was top 4 in 18. So again, for me and me and Ethan talk about that, we're trying to get some value. When you're watching the value get sucked out of something during the Scottish Open, like, in other words, a Rory missed cut would have gone a long way if you were looking to bet Rory this week. A lot of people don't understand that. And I've had conversations, me and Ethan have shared conversations where he's like, how do you get into these spots where you're actually like rooting for a guy to do not good in this week? Because I'm like, yeah, because the value will go way up. He doesn't catch as many eyeballs. There's nothing like a backdoor top 20 in a major, because nobody really pays attention except for place bettors at top 20 mark. So like, a guy starts the weekend 57th and he comes in 19th. It doesn't really hit the radar too good, but that's a big weekend at a major that he made the cut at. So it kind of matters,
It
There's
does.
a lot of value. And in talking about that, we were talking about placements. Another thing I really like, if you look or I'm looking at the bets I have right now written down. Now, I don't think Spieth at top 140, at plus 140, I wouldn't call that chalky by any means, top 20. And just looking at them, you have to be careful. And this is something I kind of, Ethan kind of helped work my head around. But I knew it from a golfing perspective, but I was trying to figure it out from a betting perspective, and he kind of walked me through it. But when you have a guy like we have a guy that we have a top 40 bet on, if he makes the cut and he's plus 350, again, top 40, if he makes the cut, he is playing his face off because he's on the DP World Tour. So he's playing for way less. He's not a live golfer. Nothing. I'm fine with live guys. No, I'm not sitting here beefing live anybody. Don't assault me. Don't send the live army out after me. I'm not insulting him, but I'm saying he's a guy that matters. Money still matters. So when you're a player like that and you make the cut in a major, a $3.6 million purse, yeah, I mean, 3.6 million, to the winner purse. Yeah, that's kind of big. Like you're going to play, like you got a free roll, right? You're like, oh my God, I just made the major. The last place in that major, if you make the cut, probably pays like T38 on your average DP World Tour event, or T20 or something, like it's depending on the event, right? So these guys that are a little further back, like in terms of name recognition, like you're not going to see me with aside from, Jordan Spieth, like I said, that's a brand name. I get it, but plus 140 on that. On a guy who hasn't been out of it in the top 5 years. So, but there's the outer periphery names, especially the top 40 market, that Ethan does really good at. The periphery names, all you're betting really is a make the cut number. And if you look at their make the cut number, it's not nearly that good as a top 40. So bet them top 40 instead of make the cut, because all you're betting is they make the cut. When you make the cut, you're already in 60th. So if you shoot 1 under each day, you're probably going to be top 40 in a major.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you shoot par both days, you're probably going to pick up 10 spots.
Oh yeah.
So just you can kind of walk them through that a little more, but I think that's to me personally, there's a ton of value in that market. And like I said, I mean, there's a plus 350 out there that I'm on in a top 40 market. I think it's tasty. Now, again,
Of course.
I'm not saying he goes top 40, but plus 350 to make the cut on him, he's got a good history of doing that. So I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey.
Your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, you hit it, said it perfectly. I mean, with the top 40, it's kind of like make the cut, but it's kind of gives you, a little bit of leeway, a little bit extra boost in, the odds and stuff like that for you. So you get a little bit more of a payout. But yeah, I mean, if they make the cut in after the first two rounds, usually, especially in a major, especially with the guy you were talking about, I mean, he can just have to hang around. You don't have to do anything crazy. You just have to play good golf. I mean, he doesn't have to be the best out there. No one's really saying he is, but he just has to play good, consistent golf, which get up and down. Doesn't have to be pretty. There's no pictures on the scorecard or anything like that. So you gotta find someone that can, be pretty consistent and won't have those every now and then. Sometimes you'll have people that will shoot an 81 or 82 and you're like, okay, if he does that a decent amount, I don't really maybe want to bet him, even though he might start off really well first 2 days. That 81, I mean, you're going to kind of he's going to fall out of that top 40 discussion basically. So it's kind of good to try to find consistent golfers that just can make cuts, that can just stay around and hang around and make money. Like that's what it is. You got to make money. You got to make the cut to make money. So that's what I kind of like to look at basically with those type of the T40 bets.
That's a great description, because I can promise you this. I have two T40 bets. Ethan obviously knows what both of them are. Both of them are significantly plus money. You would rather have either one of those two gentlemen than say, let's just put all things equal. These two gentlemen make the cut on the number along with Brooks Koepka. Who would you rather have? You would 100 times out of 100, these two guys. It's career maker money. For Brooks, he's like, I don't care if I come in 30th or 15th. I'm not going to win. I'm way back. I can't win. The drive is a little different for somebody that's already a catered to pro golfer, and he's catered to at the highest level. So my comp selection for the video, Jordan, you're going to have to really, really earn this if you want to win this bet. But because if he's mic'd up, it's going to break you this week. Jordan Spieth, top 20, plus 140. That's my comp selection. Ethan, hit him with it.
I like it a lot, like we already discussed. Mine for today, the hometown Scottish kid, Rob McIntyre, who went T2 last time. Rory stole it from the grasp of his hands, basically, to win at home. Cool, smooth swinging lefty, top 40, minus 120. So not too much, not plus money, but I think it's good value, especially with him. T40 in 5 of his 6 last events. Also, his last 3 years at the Open Championship, T34, T8, and T6. His last 3 Open appearances. So, I mean, I'll lay the minus 120 for him to make the cut. So and play. He's used to these style courses. Yeah. Plays on the DP World Tour. Born in Scotland. Knows the rich history. And for him, I mean, he's kind of becoming more of a well-known name, that's for sure. But one of the more well-known guys in the DP World Tour. But yeah, I like that. Gain total strokes in back-to-back events, and I mean, he's riding off that T2. I think he just keeps it rolling. Try to keep it moving. I think he can do really well. He also has hits it pretty well, pretty far. So it might come into play here because the course is playing a little bit wet and a little bit softer than what at least some players that have been playing their practice rounds have noticed and have put on the little tweeter and stuff about everything, where it's like, oh, it's kind of playing a little long. It's not rolling out as what we're used to. You can't hit a stinger and have it roll out 330 or whatever. So it's going to be a lot more soft, but who knows with the weather, how it changes. It's always up always random back and forth with the island style there. So, I mean, just that coastal town is just, I mean, be crazy to live there. It's just with the different weather patterns, just got to look outside and just see what it is. Ray and I were joking earlier saying like, oh, I mean, they don't even have like weathermen there. They just say, hey, look outside and you'll see how it is basically. So, but I like it. Top 40, minus 120 for the Scottish kid coming into here. I think he's riding off great. His last 3 British Open appearances riding really well. So I think he gets it done here at top 40. And Tim has a question. I didn't even check. Do you know if Phil's playing?
Well, first of all, I don't talk about the rat. The rat.
Yeah, no.
The guy that sent Billy Walters to jail.
No, yeah, I have no clue.
He's a federal rat. He's a rat. I mean, they make movies about guys like him, and it's not about golf. Let me just see.
That's true.
I can check this because I've got the app here. I didn't even look.
I would assume so.
But let's see here.
He's played in every other one, right? Every other major.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean, why not? They should let him play forever. I mean, I don't know what the bounty is on him. I don't. He is in the field. Phil Mickelson is participating in this year's Open Championship.
Okay.
I just made it a worse event.
Gotta avoid his wave. That's for sure when watching.
I'm sorry, I had to dip there. I've got a cat that just had kittens and a dog that's not a year old yet, and I had to.
Oh, damn.
I had to handle some things. Okay, I got to handle some things. Okay, dogs and cats. Sure. It's a story of life, right? They're fighting like cats and dogs, right?
Yeah. It's raining cats and dogs.
it can rain it. They can fight like it. It can be a golf tournament involving it. I mean, you never know. You never know where it's going to go at Royal Liverpool this weekend. I'm excited. I actually covered this event for AOL Sports out of Las Vegas. And so I'm actually feeling the pain that Ethan is about to feel if he truly wants to participate in watching this tournament live. For those of you West Coasters, left
when I go to,
as they say, I think is out there on the left coast, if I'm not mistaken. It is a tough event for you guys, and I've lived it, and it's arduous to watch. If you want the full window, I mean, it's not great here either, but you know, we
at least you can wake up early, kind of
normal business time, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, that same thing with the Scottish Open. I would be going to bed when then they would be teeing off, and I would wake up, and it's like halfway through the tournament. I'm like, or I wake up and I see Rory won, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I just didn't see anything on the last day, but I just got a notification that they won. Thanks, guys. But hey, they have to deal with it every time the 3 majors here. So kind of yeah. So I'm not too mad. I always can see the highlights. That's why they basically try to film everything out there. So.
Tim Curry, you're right what you said too. And I just remember, everybody, Billy Walters' book's about to come out. And I work for Billy Walters. I work for Billy Walters in Las Vegas. That's an absolute 100% fact. Nobody can deny that was there. They know that. Billy was one of the best. Billy is one of the best. And Phil is a rat. He basically could have owned his mistake and done his time, and his lawyers probably would have got Phil off. The only reason Billy got jammed up is because the government's been trying to jam him up for 50 years and haven't been able to do it. Wonder why? Yeah, because they didn't have a Phil Mickelson to be like. So
get these guys away.
Liv sucks. You know what? I mean, for half those guys, if they didn't take the money, I would call them idiots. They're irrelevant in professional golf. Yeah, half of their field is legitimately irrelevant in professional golf. So look at how many of them 48? I don't even know, because I tried to watch it one day, and it was like a dance party. It was a lot of stuff going on. And again,
a lot of shit going on.
If you want to have the DP World Tour does what's it called? The music hole, the rock and roll hole or whatever. They have one hole in the DP World Tour every week where they sell these suites and they play music. Like, I'm all right with that. Like, I'm cool with that. But when I turn the TV on and I'm looking at a leaderboard and I can't tell who's leading, I'm out. I try to save you from that. Cat's here. I got a cat on my left and a dog on my right, Ethan.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. There's a lot of songs written about stuff like this. I can tell you that. But golf-wise, I look forward to a great week. I know it's tough for a lot of people, the viewing hours of the Open Championship, but bottom line, tremendously historic venue. Everybody should be excited for that. I would be. I am excited for it. We gave you two selections. We might put one more. I might put one more out there if I get bored. But you guys are going to have to contact us. Actually, I'll offer. How about a video deal, Ethan? Watch this. Don't get excited, people. You're not going to see anything. If you can tell me, DM me on Twitter at Ray Gray Fox. It's right there, at Ray Gray Fox under my name. If you can DM me who that shirt is a tribute to, I will give you one additional play for Frizzy off a 12 play card for the Open Championship. You will have gotten two, and I'm sure if you DM me, I'm probably going to be generous. So if you actually know what that shirt is a tribute to. So we gave you two. We're ready for it. Great venue. Weather going to be weird. It could be rainy, could be rainy and then sunny and dry out real quick. Who knows what's going to happen, but it's a greener than they thought going in. It's fair to say, probably. Wouldn't you say, Ethan?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's what a lot of guys on a lot of PGA Tour pros sometimes play the practice round and they're like, "Oh, what my thoughts?" And he's like, "Oh, a lot more drivers, it's playing a little further than people expect and all that." So I've seen that a few times. So I'm expecting that it's going to be a little bit softer out there. It's not going to be, and if they do to get more rain this week, it might even play even softer and longer. So got to just keep your eye out for the weather, see what you want. And I mean, hey, you can't control it. We got our bets in already. So you just let the chips fall where they may.
For me, the only thing I ever and all you do with weather is hope, right? It's like living here right now. You get the boomers coming through, but all you can do really is hope that, in my opinion, that the weather doesn't affect the cut. I don't like it when one grouping, so it could be early Thursday, late Friday, Thursday, early Friday, when it's a huge disparity, and it generally doesn't happen in the States. They just because of the way their schedule runs with weather, but it often happens in Open Championships where a ton of great players, because they have to split it, right, for TV coverage, because you can't just put them all out early or all out late, right? You got to split it so you have feature groups. And that being the case, you can have a lot of people eliminated. Like a lot of good players get whacked by a bad weather draw. So that's all I ever really hope for in the British, to be honest. I hope for just a fair – after that, let it go crazy, because they're all off within an hour or two of each other, So
I agree.
Go nuts. We gave you two, not one, but two comp selections. We offered you a third. If you can DM me the shirt, you get that. I might even throw in one of Ethan's. He doesn't even know it, but I'll do it.
There you go. Hey, do it. If someone comes in quick with that, knowing that, hey, I have no clue, because I have no clue. So if someone comes quick knowing that, hey, they deserve it.
One last look. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's all I'm giving you.
That's it.
I'm not letting these Google artists get me. I'm sure somebody's. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But, if somebody wants a free play, they're going to get it. Put it that way. Any final thoughts? We're going to beat this thing in under 55 minutes. Let's do it. Final thoughts.
Let's do it. Love it. Excited. Not excited for the tee off for me and my aspect, my selfish reasons why. But hey, at least I get the second half of at least Thursday and Friday in the morning. So I'm happy to watch that, throw that on, see the end, see what they talk about. Sometimes I like to listen, see what the announcers say, even though sometimes it's kind of annoying. But you you'd be surprised. Sometimes they'll influence a lot of, just recreational bettors where they say, oh, this guy's looking good, but he only shot like this, or this guy's looking really good. But then you're like, hey, maybe I'll just do the opposite or something like that. Sometimes value comes up in different ways, especially during the live tournament. So you kind of play both sides, try to listen, see what most people are going to be. Oh, well, this announcer said he's going to be doing really good tomorrow. I should bet him. And usually not the case. So, but yeah, sometimes it's educational. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm excited and looking forward to it. That's for sure.
As am I. Like I said, I know it's a tough watch for most people, but most importantly, we appreciate all the good people that stayed with us.
Oh yeah,
for 50 minutes and 26 seconds, glitched out coverage. I have yet to see what Ethan looks like beyond his first facial picture, his portrait profile picture that I'm looking at in the Miller Lite Sound Studio in the desert. Let's go. So I hope everybody has a great Open Championship. For me, Ethan will carry baseball the duration. He's got he can do anywhere from one video to 20 videos a week, by the way. So if you want to see more Ethan contact, he's at Best Pie Bets on Twitter. I would get a hold of him. He has full reign to do as many as he wants. He also has full reign of the podcast. That's going to take you out to the World Series with our baseball bets. I'm going to kind of melt off into the golf horizon. I will still might look at a few things that stick out to me, but my handicapping will and has been starting to tailor toward college football, and I'll be all in on that. So obviously college football packages are available. Obviously that includes our NFL action. Golf, we're going to have stuff for the rest of the season. Ethan's going to be taking baseball home for you. Really, it's 365, folks. We're giving you stuff every single day for those of you that want to bet at a really reasonable price. So, if you're interested in talking to us about being a client, we answer DMs on Twitter. We're not blocking people. We don't have no message service. We're happy to get them. So DM me about the shirt. I'll send you another play. Maybe I'll send you one of Ethan's too. So 2023 Open Championship, Royal Liverpool, home of the Beatles. And we're looking forward to it. We hope you are too. Tune back in. Ethan, I think, will be back with you tomorrow at 5:45 in the baseball hole.
Oh, yeah.
And look forward to some college. There may be some college football content coming. We'll have to see how that goes. We have a lot of moving parts here right now in the slow season, as we like to call it in sports at Commonwealth Sports. But one thing you can rest assured of, the good-looking guy on my screen right is Ethan at Best Pie Bets. Contact him on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter. Retweet, like, and subscribe. Do all those good things, folks. We appreciate you. We appreciate you all the loyal listeners. Tim, Sean, Susan.
Thank you.
Everybody that dropped in here today. We are very, very thankful for all of y'all. Joe O always starts to show out. Susan's the best. Tom D was here. Sean, Rocket Fuel.
Oh, hey, Sean, Rocket Fuel. Hey, that's did he just dip out? Okay, I guess he did. But hey, thank you all for coming. I'll be back here tomorrow, a little bit earlier tomorrow. So you guys have a good rest of your day. And like we said, make sure to follow, like, comment, subscribe. Be back here tomorrow, guys.